a time I have never been so confident in Falcons just cleaning up kills. They have so many ways to clean up fights, but it's all up to Haji and Kyle to make things happen.
And I, for one, am pretty sure that they can accomplish just that. Team Falcons and their mechanics, no doubt, they could carry that out, but Guangzhou Gaming, they forced out an early flicker from the hero you expected to be most aggressive in the early game.
And this is the scary thing about this game, right? Because you're looking at everybody, there is no particular winning matchup, right? Especially in those side lanes, unless they find a big mistake. So they do need the extra bit of support. Guangzhou, especially for Mei and Xing, all they gotta do is maintain control of mid, and it's gonna be super difficult for Ogwin and Haji to have that impact that we're looking for.
Yeah, at the very least, they're holding down Mei in mid, so he's not able to really get out of there as much and go into Kyle's jungle. But that's a lot of pressure already on their mid duo.
Beautiful stuff coming out from Guangzhou, right? That's already 2 big battle spells out super early on, and now they can start going for the invades. Look, Kyle is just taking so much damage from Mei.
Never mind. I just said Mei couldn't just really go straight into Kyle because of what Haji and Ogwin were doing, but with the amount of support that they've been providing one another, with this rotation you've seen firsthand from Guangzhou, things to be somewhat favoring their side.
Yep, even the battle spells is also telling us the exact same story. Falcons, they want this early game to be good for them. They want to speed things up right now. CY trying to bait something out as recall is very nearby, but I'm also curious, right? Because from Guangzhou's POV, I would have imagined that they would have gone for like maybe, I don't know, something a little tankier early on. Like now they're stuck with this Nolan. They too have a certain degree of a timer.
Yeah, so maybe that's also why you see them really trying to pick up the pace and make sure that everything goes right in the early game for them, because they somewhat picked up on jungler that also has to keep up, but at least they're holding majority of the positioning here in the turtle so far. Flicker's already forced down! Ogwin actually falls to the hands of Guangzhou as first blood, and it seems to be going all the way over to Guangzhou. It's only Kyle left, and even Kyle doesn't make it out alive. What a start for Guangzhou here.
Zipper, we need a replay of that. That was a beautiful fight coming out from Guangzhou. Like, it is... Ogwin was already looking to actually put that final nail in the coffin, but keep your eyes here as Mei flickers out and baits the entire team into an unwinnable fight with Xing, making sure that Lantern Flare was up the entire way. With Turtle in the hands of Guangzhou Gaming, this is by far a really good start.
I wonder what information and preparation they've done, because again, Guangzhou, you know very little about this team. Even the heroes that they've used in their recent qualifiers don't tell you much about their playstyle. But what has changed? Why have they seemed to adapt so well to the current meta despite them picking or having these heroes which Falcons attempted to counter?
Well, I think, you know, it's a lot of research, and I definitely think, you know, the length of the MPL PH definitely played a part of that.
That's true.
Unintentionally, but here, when it comes down to the meta, that's what everybody's trying to figure out. What is not only the meta game for the game, but specifically for the tournament? We need to see that develop throughout. But with the lead that they have, 4-1, I'm expecting Guangzhou to play more reactively, right? Yeah. They want to make sure they punish the Falcons everywhere they go. They need a man-to-man defense and make sure that Haji doesn't scale too fast.
And honestly, that tournament meta, I feel, is something we won't really get to figure out until maybe day 3 or 4.
I mean, we can speculate.
Because day 1, first 2 matches in series have already shown us so much of the more unorthodox picks already.
Well, is it unorthodox or are they just ahead of the metagame? We won't know until day 2 or 3, but in the meantime, you can see both teams high contention for this mid lane. It's less about the side lanes. The side lanes are kind of independent until we can get the mid trio to move in their direction. Guangzhou going to take that first move as they send supports to the top side.
Yep, at least for Falcons and their sides, they're doing really okay. It's a Brody and a Dairoth, which you pretty much expect to win their lane. And so despite Falcons not really winning out massively in terms of their mid, they're not really in need of that much rotations, but that's the thing. Guangzhou might just really take advantage of this entire situation, but it's already Ogwin here up top, already trying to somewhat provide a bit of help. Does catch Sai, but it's gonna be Ogwin all alone this time. Now he's trapped against 3. Do they have enough damage? Do they have enough burst? That's a Crimson Beacon in and a stun. Guangzhou eventually take him out, and Super Marco looking like the next target torn about memory, but he doesn't find anyone. But he still survives. Just a bit, it's an outplay. 2 goal laners go down.
No way, no way. Oh, the auto attack attacks. The auto attacks just weren't big enough. He didn't have the physical damage. It is unfortunately, a magic marksman dependent on skill cooldowns and abilities. That's gotta feel so bad. When you thought you were about to kill him, guess what? Quantum charge, walk away.
Okay, here goes the replay. So he was definitely left all alone there. I think he kind of survived it for a bit longer than we expected him to, but what a play. Even the coaching staff thought it was unbelievable for the second time around. What? Super Marco not having a great time now.
Recall said, team, we're not going to let this happen again. Let me show you how it's done on a Nolan. But on the opposite end, we're not seeing Falcons waste too much time here. If you notice at the gold lead, despite it being 2-7, for some reason it's only 900. By this stage, you're expecting somewhat of a 1K, a 2K gold lead.
Oh, Black Shoes already forced out too. They get to find Haji and land another stun, forcing out the flicker. There goes Flap trying to defend, and they outplay Mei in mid. A small win for Falcons this time.
Really nice play coming in from Flap as well. Now you're seeing that the traditional lane roles, they're starting to get mixed up a lot, right? What is Dairoth doing up here to maybe try and help Ogwin and Super Marco? He reveals himself, but all of this is so that Kyle can scale up a little bit faster, taking the wave as well.
Yep, they're at the least maybe trying to slow down a bit and maybe go for the farm, because clearly Guangzhou Gaming have taken charge of the early game, and that's exactly according to plan so far. So maybe less of the direct one-on-one counters, and now we see more of the 5-on-5 rotations come into play. Recall though, very confident right now on this Nolan, forcing out the Black Shoes again.
Yeah, and honestly, there's no reason to actually contest for the turtle, because they know for a fact, hey, Nolan, his retribution is coming up, but without his ult, that's fine. That means he can't really get in and out as effectively. But when they're rushing it down, that's where it gets scary, and now they look for the opportunity.
That's the flicker from Ogwin. No Crimson Beacon left for XYang, but Recall! He wins out on the objective yet again. Falcons are now trying to go in. Kyle also using the Tempest of Blade. Super Marco joining in the fight, and they already have taken out 3 members of Guangzhou.
And that's a huge mistake coming out from GZG. Falcons take advantage of the fact that they were just too close together. 3 people got caught in the snare of the globules. The damage is good coming in from Recall. Oh, Super Marco, is he going to burn to death? Okay, he's fine, he's fine.
Yeah, that was close though. And at least Falcons get a bit more space, because it felt like earlier they had to work hard for this space, and they had to juggle between switching lanes here and there just so they could really find some more objectives across the map. But even despite losing that objective, and I believe that was the second turtle that Guangzhou have already secured, they've at least gotten a bit more map control.
And now the question is whether or not they've developed enough of a lead. And whatever they had before instantly dissipated in one singular fight. I love the fact that Haji is immediately going for that Wishing Lantern. It's perfect for getting rid of these annoying pokers like Mei, who wants to be in his face, or maybe even Modi, who again hasn't really been able to participate as much as we would like to see.
Yep, does run the Vengeance too, so we hopefully do get to see him later on in the team fights, because I feel like that will be a great help to Guangzhou Gaming in terms of actually getting the wins. But Flap, oh no, getting bursted down here by Recall!
Oh, nothing that Flap could do. He flickers a little too late, and honestly, I think a lot of his abilities got cancelled out once he got spun into multiple directions. That being said though, Guangzhou looking to try and take out at least one of these turrets, but they decide not to. They give up on it. They see Ogwin and they're like, not again, not again.
Nope. This is such a statement you're seeing from Guangzhou, especially Recall. 5-1-2 on the Nolan, when in fact it was a pick who was chosen last. You thought it was just some sort of pick that they were forced to pick up, but the Tempest of Blade just being forced out, and now Guangzhou just confidently standing in front of Team Falcons.
Yep, this is going to be a really awkward position for Falcons, because again, they were the ones who wanted to play for the earlier stages. Yep. Now they're highly dependent on Kyle to finish up a lot of these fights, or at the very least, Ogwin to try and create that space. Because so far, Super Marco, he's not getting as many auto attacks as he would like.
Yep, now they're forced to group up. It's always just Kyle away from the team, and that's the kind of play that they're maybe forced to do at this point. But now it's different. There's an objective that's coming up. So Team Falcons would have to be very, very careful about this. Flap cannot go down first, similar to what has been happening a couple times already in this game.
That's going to be the Malefic gun purchase here. Now Super Marco has the range to start hurting people from afar. Question is, are they going to be able to get into the pit? Because Guangzhou, they've got a really good control around it. Oh!
Gwen goes in, flickers in, but it gets bursted, and now the Salmon Force has a response too from Psy. They're just flushing Falcons out of this Lord pit, and they're taking control. Black Shoes too, forced out by Recall. Tempest of Blades, but can they get more? They find Mei, and that's going to be a 1-for-1.
Not too bad, but the fight's not over just yet. Guangzhou, understand that, hey, all right, we may have stuck a little too close together, but this time around they spread apart instantaneously as soon as they saw Ogwin walking up for a potential engagement. That being said, though, at least for GZG,
Ooh.
dear Lord, where did he go?
How did he know? That was okay. I think Falcons now are at a much clearer advantage.
Well, they may be at a much clearer advantage, but I don't see this being a free Lord just yet. Like, they're going to try for it, and I want to see what the response is going to be. Because for now, CY is in a pretty good position if he can get that Holy Crystal.
Okay, Falcons are starting this objective right now, but Ogwin has a good idea of where majority of them are. Modi jumping in, Kyle just securing it with their Fusion, and now Falcons want to go in for the fight. Sai already using the Salmon Force, but he gets bursted! It's a double kill for Kyle. He's been waiting for this moment.
Yeah, he tried a little too hard. Modi, unfortunately, making the mistake, walking into the fight without the vengeance. And that stun from Super Marco is such an effective tool, if not at least the mini stuns from both Flap and Ogwin. At this stage, Falcons, based on the items that they have, can really start pressing the advantage when it comes down to structures.
Oh, fortunately, Haji got to quickly press on that Black Shoes. Mei, though, looking in danger and will go down in the hands of Team Falcons as Xying only had to Crimson Beacon out and the Lord is still up.
Yeah, they don't have an answer to Ogwin right now. Blue can kind of do whatever he wants as long as he doesn't get one shot, can ruin somebody's day. Ooh, look at the damage! Recall getting blasted from halfway across the map.
And the Black Shoes are back for Haji if in case Guangzhou actually forced that fight, but they're not really going to do so. They just focused on evening out majority of their resources across the board. That's going to be all outer turrets already taken down, and in the blink of an eye, you're already seeing a 5k gold lead in their hands.
Now, let's talk about how they're getting this, right? Before this, barely nothing. A lot of team fights, keeping it simple, kinda even. GZG, mega lead in terms of kill score, but doesn't have that 5k lead like Falcons have right now with a singular kill. And a lot of this is about time efficiency. With GZG's movements, they're sticking together. Notice, top quadrant, all 5 of them are there. Nobody's dealing with that bot wave. And that's why Falcons' overall macro is more efficient gold-wise in comparison to GZG.
Yep, that's why even if you thought things were kind of slowing down, that was just Falcons playing their game. And now it's going to be Modi bursted by Flap. Now that you see them grouped up, this is exactly how they want to utilize this lineup.
Yeah, and it's great because, again, the one combination people don't think about is the shred specifically from Flap. If Flap and Marco work together, no matter how tanky you are, they're going to cut your armor in half, if not more, now that he has the Malefic gun.
Okay, Conceal. Could there be another flicker play? And there you go, Mei! Barely surviving this. Winter Crown already forced out, and the flicker too, but they just want that base turret. Guangzhou are not gonna force the chase.
No, they can't. They can't afford to. Unfortunately for Guangzhou Gaming, until Psy is, I want to say not just the Holy Crystal at this point, because Ogwin is too big of a problem. I'm trying to figure out how can they bait Ogwin out, or at the very least burst them down, both of which not very good ideas considering the priority list.
Because at this point, the only heroes from Guangzhou who maybe can go for some backline plays are just really Recall and Modi, or unless Xing just really wants to go full commit and Crimson Beacon in and they just all jump on Super Marco, but will that be worth it? Because at this point, again, the shred you mentioned, the armor just going down as soon as you approach these heroes who could deal massive damage and penetration. And not to mention an objective too coming up just in a bit.
Yeah, this is particularly tough. I will admit that at least for Guangzhou Gaming, they made sure that Haji slowed down, but now we're already in the later stages of this game. Slowing Haji down is not possible. He hurts.
Yep. And look at just how well they're guarding majority of the map right now, but Guangzhou are still pushing forward. Recall, though, is about to show himself up top, and that might be enough room for Falcons to be a bit more aggressive with bursting down this objective.
Oh, it looks like they're trying to sell this fight.
Oh, Ogwin and Flap trying to zone out the members as Falcons just secure this objective, but Ogwin still finds one. Do they want to push through with this fight, though? Haji providing the damage, and it's going to be enough. Super Marco's already called a killing spree, and Kyle on the back lines, finding Xing as they take out 3 It's just Modi and Recall. There goes the fracture, but it's gonna be okay.
They've been dancing around and they know they've got an endgame angle. Unfortunately for GZG, the biggest problem with their composition is they don't have the best wave clear. They have to commit a lot of bombs to make it happen.
And now they surprise with yet another flicker, and Modi could not tank the damage anymore. It's gonna be a near wipeout for Guangzhou Gaming as Recall's the only one left. He's trying to defend, but he can't. And Team Falcons with a 10K gold lead, close out game number 1.
That was clean. I gotta admit, there were